I want to tell you something. It happened recently. It really happened between 1962 and 1971. You might not believe it. Something serious happened during that time. Something none of us could have imagined. And I only found out about it a few weeks ago. Even though I love to read a lot. And even though this is related to my field of work, I discovered it by chance.
The shadows are stretching.
I don't know why there's a cover-up surrounding this.
They're getting closer.
The thing, my friend, is the herbicide. The one called Agent Orange. This video is actually a medical video. You will find out, how did a simple herbicide become one of the most dangerous military chemicals in history? Used by the US Army during the Vietnam War between 1962 and 1971.
Why is it called Agent Orange? It was called Agent Orange because the barrels used by the US Army containing this herbicide had an orange stripe on them to distinguish it from other chemical weapons. That's why it was called Agent Orange. You get it? Agent Orange. It's not an insecticide, it's a herbicide. The US Army used it. The Army sprayed 11 million gallons over 20 million acres. Why? The US Army used Agent Orange in Vietnam? You know how green Vietnam is, full of forests and trees. This was an enemy of the US Army because the Vietnamese fighters were defending their land, which is only natural. And their land was fighting alongside them against the US Army. The Vietnamese fighters were hiding behind the trees and tall, dense grass. And they killed many US soldiers. So the US Army thought of destroying this dense natural vegetation cover. They considered it their real enemy. The US Army used Agent Orange, which, as we explained, is a herbicide and a killer of plants, to remove the forest cover, to prevent the enemy from reaching US Army positions in Vietnam. What made Agent Orange so destructive? The reason is that the US military used this substance at concentrations 20 times higher than the recommended level. This is the limit recommended by the manufacturer. This means the US military used this toxic substance indiscriminately and in excessive quantities without any study, without any testing, without even considering the consequences. Unfortunately, there's no law to question, hold accountable, or even ask why. Imagine that any army or any individual can use any weapon, whatever its type, chemical, biological, viral, anywhere, anytime, whenever they want. Without any study, without any accountability, without any law regulating the use of this substance. It could potentially destroy all of humanity.
Unfortunately, millions of people entered a war zone without realizing that the air itself was contaminated. And how many people were actually exposed to Agent Orange? The exact numbers are unknown, but around 3 million American soldiers served in Vietnam during the spraying period. In addition, more than 3 million Vietnamese civilians lived in areas directly contaminated with the herbicide. Unfortunately, more than 300,000 former American soldiers and more than 400,000 Vietnamese citizens lost their lives due to complications. Therefore, it was finally banned in 1971 after it became impossible to deny the reality of its devastating effects. Meaning, the ban came far too late, after the damage was done. After millions of innocent people were infected and hundreds of thousands died. The poison wasn't limited to the soil. It penetrated the human body, tearing it apart from the inside out. And what's worse than that? This poison was unavoidable because you couldn't even see the spray, making you its next victim.
Now let's study a little medicine. I'm going to give you some medical information related to Agent Orange. What is Agent Orange composed of? The herbicide contains dioxin. It's a carcinogenic byproduct of chlorine, carbon, and hydrogen. It attacks cells, damages organs, and disrupts hormones. How does this toxic substance enter the human body? People are exposed to the toxic substance through 4 main routes: inhalation, ingestion of contaminated food, absorption through skin contact, or eye contact.
What are the immediate symptoms of Agent Orange exposure? Symptoms vary from person to person and range from severe acne and recurrent infections to tingling in the hands and feet, chronic fatigue, and respiratory problems. What are the serious chronic diseases associated with this chemical? Researchers have identified more than 14 major health conditions, including amyloidosis, type 2 diabetes, ischemic heart disease, Parkinson's disease, and nerve damage.
It is also a cause of multiple types of cancer, such as Hodgkin lymphoma, prostate cancer, and cancers of the respiratory system, as well as tragic birth defects in future generations. Is there a cure for this toxic substance? There is no cure to reverse the effects of exposure. However, medical help and support are available today. How are the health effects of Agent Orange managed today? Treatment is individualized. It ranges from cancer surgery to targeted therapies, daily medications, and lifestyle support.
That's how we learned what Factor Orange means, and how in our modern age we're discovering the arts of killing. The art of killing humans, animals, and plants. The art of killing everything beautiful, sweet, and vibrant.
I do not understand
The
you
art of
at
killing
all.
our green planet. The one God created us on so we could protect it. Thank Him for His blessings. All this happened for what? For human greed. For endless wars. And the price is paid by humans, trees, and stones.
In the end, may God protect us all. Stay well. See you in the next video, God willing. Goodbye.